Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 215 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian. We have our players here today, same as always. We have Kyle, Mac, Josh, and Greg. Katie is not here with us visually or vocally, but is in the chat and here in spirit. So, once again, whatever I end up doing uh, as Katie's character is canon and true. So, that is what it is. Maybe Nyx will be finding a new hobby like Fen did last time. Unclear. Um, but
I hope
I'll go ahead.
she
Hmm?
takes couples pole dancing classes with Russ.
Oh, that's
Yes,
fun.
please.
If there ends up being time, I think we'll see if they can fit that in. Um,
Yes.
we'll see if they take walk-ins at this place. But I'll do a
Roll
quick
for
little
walk-ins.
recap, and then we'll get started. All of you are currently in Skull City at the behest of the Kiln, Sindri, who, for some of you, is either a neutral or a vaguely positive entity, and for some of you, the exact opposite. One of you is kind of almost related to this man by marriage now. It's kind of the deal. But he invited you to talk. You all rolled out. And basically he's like, "Hey, listen, I want to clear the air. I want us to be at like a ceasefire. I want us to be as neutral as we can be. Because I believe we have the same goal in mind, which is peace and safety." And everyone's like, "Yeah, right." And you guys ask Sindri some questions, and to the best of your knowledge, you just have to trust your guts on if Sindri was telling you the truth. But you ask questions about the events on the mountain, the events involving Bosch, which you learn that at least Rose says it was her idea and her project to work with Bosch, the guard, and give him that arm um, that you all got to see in action. But you eventually end the conversation, I think, in a pretty good way, as nobody is tussling, which is usually the dream in a non-confrontation, is that there's no confrontation. But the Kiln brings up that he's like, "Listen, my only remaining employee who like does boots on the ground work is mentally unwell. He's unwell. I'd love him to get to work on that. So if anyone can step in and take over his job while he gets better, and I can actually find people to work with him again and like rebuild that situation back up, that would be appreciated." And he believes that you guys are fully capable. Finds you guys incredibly competent, and said, "I don't want you to answer right now. I don't know on the spot sort of thing. Just take the time, go discuss this, tell me if you want to do this job. Um, if not, Russ will probably have to do it." And thing is, Russ is probably perfectly content to do it. So that is the current setup as you guys head out to process your emotions, mostly in the form of tattoos. There's so many tattoos that are happening now in the party. Um, the amount of ink, the amount of magical ink spread across this party. Um,
We were given access to magical tattoos, and all bets were off. Nyx went for
um,
4 at once.
yeah, I mean, I think you guys did a little more shopping, dancing. You guys have a plan to meet up for brunch the next day so that you can discuss what you should do next and how you all feel about this invitation to work for Sindri, where he said you could name a price for the job itself, which could be money, it could be something else. It depends on what you guys are interested in. Does not mean he will agree to anything, but like he's leaving the door pretty open. So you know what? Shoot your shot.
You can write a
Um,
check, and we'll see if I sign it.
Yeah, you're welcome to put a number here, and we'll see what happens. If I freeze my accounts or not, unclear. But yeah, you guys are in Skull City. You just finished a night of partying or not partying, depending on the canon. And you all eventually head to your rooms to honk shoes, which means all of you get a long rest. Your intent is to meet for brunch, as we do not have intense conversations over breakfast. That is just a rule of the party. And that's where we are currently. Is there anything anybody's doing before brunch?
I think that Nana is like just taking more time grooming Thick Biscuit in that time.
Sure.
She will be at the stables until we go for brunch.
Guess Fenn's trying to get glitter out of his hair.
The people can't know.
Nobody can know! They have to think I'm serious.
They can't know I have fun.
They can't know Fens just want to have fun.
mm,
Keld's gonna bug Russ and see if he can get him to race him.
Sure. That is the easiest thing. There is no roll.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Russ will
Russ, you want to
race.
race? Yes.
Will race. That is what Russ do.
I
mean,
thought so.
There's almost no reason for me to pull up his character sheet for this, but I will.
So you can look at the numbers.
Yeah.
I just
see
I
how
just want to be
fast.
able to say
Just
how
run the
fast I am
numbers.
going.
For canonical
So-
purposes.
If you are dashing Keld after you
Mhm.
activate your tattoo, what's your speed? What are you running?
So that would put me at 80 feet for a dash.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Fortunately, Roshan's not here to haste me.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, like, wouldn't that be bonkers?
Now that would certainly change things. That would make this a fairer fight if Rashawn was here to do that.
It's fine. It's fine. We just have to test out these tattoos.
Yeah. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
A dex save. Oh, 19.
Okay. Keld, you guys are racing on the tiniest, stupid little wooden bridges fucking ever. You walked out onto the littlest bridge and said,
I
"Fight
was
me," and
scared of that.
he said, "Okay, cool." Using his key, if I don't think about it too hard, he runs 120 in a round.
Wow.
If I'm not thinking too hard about it. I am tempted to try to use my channel divinity to stop you.
Wait, what?
And I think I will.
Hang on, wait, what? Wait, what?
Huh?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
21.
Okay. So your speed is halved.
Well.
God damn it.
And this man vaults over your shoulders and runs past you. But you were running fast for a hot second. You were really zooming.
To Keld, it felt really fast.
It was really fast. And then he whizzes on by. It's only fair if I make him roll also, right?
Yeah,
It's only fair.
everybody should make dex saves.
Okay, that's an 18 on the dice. So I think he's fine.
Yeah.
He does the zoomies around the upper levels of the skull with you for a bit.
Dear God.
I'm
Um,
imagining, like, just stands with, like, a chicken jumping out. And then another person, oh, my cabbages!
Oh
he's
no.
only going to use 2 of his key, though. He's not going to use all of it. As
Mm.
tempted as he wants to. He's going to save it today.
Easy now.
He's going to save some of that key for today. That's
It's okay when I can get a haste.
yeah. I will say though, when like that wears off and he isn't using key, you guys are pretty in stride. Like
Mm.
if he's not doing anything extra.
Now we're
besides
just Naruto
dashing.
running through this.
You guys just zooming about. Eventually, when you guys are done running, Russ does kind of take a moment, and sort of like goes off on his own, not like out of view, but you see that he's going and he's talking to Brynja.
Mm.
So they have a side convo. Anything else before brunch?
Roshan would like to go to a florist, um, and he would like to get one bouquet of red roses and one of daisies, and he will pay for. Um, I think he will find a courier at the hotel or somewhere that knows where he can be found, to run the red roses to Ms. Roan with a note that says, "Thanks for your help saving the world. We owe you drinks." Uh, and then we'll just say Roshan on the card and like leave another card for her to reply if they get to her.
Hmm.
And Roshan will send that off into the ether, and then I think he will take the daisies with him to brunch.
Okay. Give me 2 cold for that endeavor. For
Okey-dokey.
purchase and shipment. Roshan, as you're walking out of the flower shop, you hear a voice in your head. I'm going to keep it off for about an hour. If you'd like me at your little brunch meeting, let me know. And Rose sends you a message.
She wants
Uh,
mimosas.
He just wants to get
Yeah.
turned
She
at
just
noon.
wants that noon drinking, the brunch drinking. We love our
Yeah.
mimosas.
I think Roshan will say, "Couldn't hurt. See you there. Don't be mad if they want you to leave."
You do not receive a response. And you can almost assume that she definitely puts the necklace back on, receiving a yes answer. You
Yeah.
can just assume that.
Yeah, he wasn't planning on replying, so.
So, necklace back up. Uh, all of you make your way back towards the brunch spot. Fen, real quick, I'm going to give you a little info on something fun you found on your little rendezvous around town. But besides all the cool things that exist in the ether and will be brought up whenever they need to be brought up, um, while you're going about town, you did find like a work board, like a jobs board. Uh, if you were interested, if you were interested in work.
Sure. Yeah. Fun would see what sort of jobs were up for offer. See what sort of skills this city lacks, and what the demands are.
Yep. There is one that says, please take this couch. It's falling through the floor. Payment, the couch. This is posted by somebody named Yella. Then there is a much fancier looking sort of posting. Samples of mush mask. One gold piece, payment for each intact mushroom. And then gives a warning that this is a dangerous little mushroom and that you should not handle with your bare hands, and please don't eat it. Not responsible if you eat it. This was posted by a Dr. Zimish. There's another one that says, scared of heights, but want to try sugar high sweets. 5 gold pieces for delivery, by somebody named Prax. There is a couple wanted posters, and there's one that says, missing bird. It seems that somebody is looking for their bird, a spotted woodpecker, black and white, red spot on the back of the head and the belly. The price for finding and returning the woodpecker is 1 copper piece, and this was posted by Ilium.
All right. I guess before brunch, Fenwood, we lost her DM.
I'm here. I have to open
Okay.
the door for my cat.
Okay. I think before brunch, Fen would run to the candy shop. That's easy enough to help this acrophobic individual get the candy
Sure.
that they want, and he'll keep an eye out for
Uh,
woodpeckers along the way. He'll cast speak with animals and just tell Jenny to, hey, if you see any woodpeckers, let me know. There's someone looking for a lost one. Seems to be a companion of theirs. Must have gotten lost.
okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. Um, she sort of does. She's like, I'll do it. Um, how how much money are you spending on candy at Sugar High Sweets? They also have pastries and whatnot.
I have 16 copper. So, like, I guess I could, in advance, I could make contact with this person that is requesting this, bring them 16 coppers worth of stuff, and then find out if there's anything that they actually want in particular.
Okay,
Uh,
so oh,
uh, Roshan gave everyone 100 gold pieces on the first day in the city. Most of us spent it on outfits, but Fen did not buy an outfit, so has 100 more gold pieces.
Oh, okay. In that case,
and by
Fen will
so
buy,
how many gold worth of candy are you bringing
I
to
guess,
Price?
5 gold worth of candy because I don't know how much candy this person wants, and
Okay.
anything more seems excessive.
Yeah, you get 5 gold worth of sweets. Uh, Prax, a kind of just nervous looking a young woman, opens the door and is grateful and gives you 5 gold for your troubles, so you come out even. It's and um I'm gonna say for now seems pretty content, but we'll put up another sign if she thinks of anything in particular that she wants.
All right. It was nice to meet your acquaintance. Maybe there's some place you can point me to as a place to grab dinner in the city somewhere. New here, don't know how long we'll be in town, but uh, trying to learn the place.
Her face goes bright red. Okay, bye, and closes the door immediately.
Understandable, completely valid.
Jenny's like, okay, and does and just like, I'll go back to looking for the woodpecker, and takes to the sky and just kind of bouncing around. Um, you can go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd be so inclined. Um, I'll do one for Jenny just for my own amusement.
24.
Yeah, Jenny's not doing anything. At this time, you're not catching any woodpeckers. You don't see any, nothing stands out to you. There's like pigeons, there's birds in the skull, but
How much of the structure in the skull is actually made of wood, or is there a lot of stone? Or
I would say that stone is one of the least used, at least on the higher levels, but then like they start using it again at the highest level because they want to be fancy. But there's wood, metal, and stone. They kind of have the gambit of things. So there are some places that a woodpecker might enjoy.
all right, well, then we'll just continue to keep an eye out until it's time for brunch.
All right. All of you head off to brunch. I said all of those things, so they are now true in canon. Neat. Um, uh, Nyx, I'm gonna roll a Constitution saving throw. You say something in the chat, it's real in canon. You say things in the chat, they're real. Um,
Nix,
I guess I should.
why?
Guess I should have her
Stop
bullshit up
it.
too. If Nyx wants to eat a mushroom, she is more than welcome to. You immune to anything? I'll know in a second.
Hmm. We'll find
I'll know in a moment.
out.
I thought the
She
task was to
can't eat.
find the mushrooms.
Well, Nyx is eating one.
Okay. I was going to ask Nyx whenever we met her if she wanted to help me look for them, but
She
Well,
can't
she's
you're-
found
keep
them
her
already.
hands off
You're-
them.
Well, Nyx is just eating mushrooms off the ground now. Nyx, you feel fine. You're probably fine. This is all probably fine. But all of you eventually meet at the little brunch spot. You got yourselves a table. Floor's yours.
I've gathered you all here today.
Oh, get on
Eh,
with it, you prat.
Did Rose show up too?
Rose isn't here yet.
Okay. So Roshan will say, well, is there anything we want to discuss without Rose here? I don't think she's quite so high strung about her employer as Russ is, but I don't think we should say unkind things. As we are also in public, kind of. But does anyone have anything they want to discuss before she gets here?
Why wouldn't she give Alves Crest back to Nonna?
Good question.
I was wondering about that too.
I understand that you and she were both close with Alve as well, but by all rights, that is Nonna's crest to inherit.
Hmm.
I don't think it's worth starting a fight with your sister over, but it seems rude and inconsiderate, if you were to ask me.
Because Alve mentioned it specifically in his will, we cannot rule out that he had plans for it at some point down the line. Whether we missed it or whether it's yet to play its part, I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's a good thing to ask her when she gets here. I can't vouch for the truth in any answer she gives, but I suppose we'll be able to figure that out for ourselves.
Hmm.
Did anyone have any ideas about what they would like to be paid?
We could take the God Killer from him.
I doubt he'd be willing to part with it, but
Wonder what he's keeping it for. He already used it on the intended target, after all.
Sounds like it shouldn't be in just anyone's hands, so maybe it's safer.
Are we sure? Are we positive? Are we certain? Really?
I can think of at least one person we've met, actually multiple, that it's better that Sentry had it than they did.
Sure, I could
Regardless
think of
of the-
any number of people I'd hate for that to be in front of, or within reach of. Are you kidding? I don't number him among my top 20 or 50.
People start glancing at y'all's table.
We're talking about payment, but I'm not even sure what the task is yet.
That's true.
Well,
And something found
Kind of hard to.
or reclaimed or taken.
And we've agreed to consider helping him. It does not mean that what he asks us to do is something that we're ultimately going to agree to do. We all have limits and standards, I'm sure.
He will do this whether we agree to do it for him or not. And if he sends Russ into the field in our place, I won't have it. I'm not going to. We'll go. It's the lesser evil. But I don't like it. And I don't think that we should just be completing his checklist willy-nilly without thinking about it first.
Hopefully, we'll get some more details on it. I mean, I assume we will.
it would be foolish to sign away our rights to not do it before knowing exactly what we're getting into. So perhaps Rose will have some answers there as well.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think Roshan will order They're not really hors d'oeuvres when it's brunch. I don't know.
Food.
Small
Your
plates.
sandwiches.
If you guys order food,
Canapes.
Nyx is sort of sitting stiff in her seat and trying to like not let her like back like hit the back of the chair and
She's
like
most
T-posing
tattoos.
aggressively.
yeah, just currently you guys know where Nyx stands. Nyx is going to do this mission whether you guys do it or not. And is just and orders food and is going to be pretty content with that.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
too picky on payment, so I suppose that can be left to each their own.
That's fair.
I want
I've
nothing
also-
from him.
Sorry, what?
Want nothing from him. I want no payment. I want no thing from him. If we cannot reasonably expect something from him which he might use for something else, then nothing.
If that is the price to have you along, then that is an easy one.
My price is to be able to keep Nyx and Russ safe, as I promised I would.
I don't think accepting payment for doing a job is the same as being in his pocket for accepting a gift. I'm sorry, Nonna. I don't mean to offend you. I understand why you might feel this way. But there's something to be... You're going to do his task for him anyways.
I intend to keep an eye on his dealings. That's
And
what I intend.
And we can easily do that while we do his task. I think that's probably the greatest thing we have to gain from this. But if he's offering some sort of monetary reward or something that could be put to good use somewhere, pay for the removal of Bosch's trees from some of these towns. I don't know. It seems...
Then that is
I-
fine. I want nothing. If he can do something for everybody else that will actually benefit everybody else in the long term, grand. I'll take that. I want no thing from him.
All right.
Well, I don't think anyone here wants to make you take something, so I think then it's settled. We'll ask our questions of Rose, and then if she can't answer them, we'll ask them of Sindri. And how soon should we be out of here?
I think it would be worth our while before we accept the job to actually do a little talking with other people around town who know of him and his dealings. Anyone who might have any experience with him, whether it is sufficiently intimate or passing, professional, civil. The daughter of the chief, for example, may have some idea of his ordinary means of operation.
Fenn's going to switch to Giant. Sorry to leave Roshan out of the conversation, but I'm sure that anyone of his import and magnitude has probably made enemies or rivals of any number of people in this town, and I've been trying to keep my ear to the ground and see if there anyone around here that might have issues with him or, any cause to join our distrust of him. And we might be able to gain information from them. We might just be able to gain an ally who can open the right gate at the right time or create a distraction for us if needed, if we decide that it's something that needs to be done. But we should do that quietly.
Definitely. I think responding in Giant, Nana, I think, kind of like just remarks it's only reasonable, and it should be done with as much secrecy and care as we can manage. But I think we ought to select who we source our information from carefully.
I agree. Right now, we just know precious little about him or this town. We are strangers here, barely know our way around without stopping to look at the street signs.
Can tell you I've been getting lost.
We don't need to create problems we're not prepared to deal with.
Getting
I
lost
think-
in the stables, Nana?
Hmm?
I feel like that's the only place I've seen you.
Sorry, Roshan, I'll catch you up later.
I was just going to say that I've already reached out to Ms. Roan. We owe her a drink after the events of last month. And I was planning on running a few more errands. I'd like to see Pink at some point. And I was planning on asking Hertha if she might have any official business that could get us in the door to talk with Hollister or Hollis' daughter. Let's see, who
I
else
will
is on
say-
my list?
Really quick, while you guys were having your conversation in Giant, I would say all of you, even Roshan, who cannot hear what is being discussed or cannot understand what is being discussed, sees Nyx growing obviously uncomfortable and kind of like gets up and is like, I'm gonna go check out the sweets in that display. And there is like a display of sweets. And like while you guys are talking in Giant, she goes over there. And goes to see if there is a neat snack to get.
Nyx knows Giant too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody besides Roshan, I believe, knows Giant.
Yeah. Not exactly words we want to be saying in common in this cafe or tavern or what have you, or restaurant. But, yeah.
Nyx is uncomfortable and gets up and walks off. And I'm going to walk off for half a second. I'm still here. Promise.
Gotcha. Tending to cats.
Come on in. Come on, later.
I think it'd be useful to find out from Rose when she gets here if she knows anything about what Sindri plans to ask us to do on his behalf, so we can make sure that we stock up with whatever materials we think we might need. It's not even sure where we're going, honestly. We've been spending a lot on goodies and toys and aesthetics, and not a lot on tools that we might need to get a job done.
That's a good point.
Well, until we have more specifics on the job, rather difficult to buy for it. So,
Is Rex here?
Rex is with you guys unless you tell him not to be with you guys.
I mean, like, if anybody had given up a protest about Rex being present, Nana would have told him to take a lap, but I can't think of. I mean, like, he's here to hang with and help us. So
True.
I don't think she would have thought to dismiss him, and to be fair, he does not speak giant, so he would not have been privy to that back and forth either.
Rex, you're from around these parts. Do you know of any place to buy magical arrows?
I usually don't have need for purchasing magical arrows because I imbue them myself most of the time, but there are magic shops here in Skull City. There's certainly supplies one could buy to make magic arrows, but you could probably, if a shop doesn't have them, you could probably get them commissioned.
All right, thank you. Got any place you can recommend as a good above board magic shop? I'd gladly take your recommendations.
Points across the way at fuck your ma. Yeah, fuck your ma right across the skull.
Not to be confused with Ulfric's magic shop, which has
Nope,
the outage in the sign.
Yeah, no, same place. But he also adds he's more of a collector. So he procures things. So like if you asked for something, he'd probably try to locate it for you and acquire it. That's more of his deal. I think he has some magical capabilities, but most of it's just acquired items or traded items.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Um, if there's a long enough lull in the conversation, eventually Rose comes in, has a quick chat with somebody at the front, and will make her way over to the table. Nyx will also come back to the table for that. She sits down and sort of like waves somebody over and orders a drink. Hello.
Well, I suppose I'll go first. I think our biggest question as a group is, I mean, will you tell us what we're being asked to do before we agree to do it?
No. I can give you some information, but as a precaution, I've been asked not to explain the details of the mission before you have agreed to it.
A precaution against what?
Well, there might be bad blood. You never know what somebody will do.
Can't imagine why.
So you understand.
if you won't tell us what it is we are meant to do, could you at least make the promise that we won't have to compromise on our values to do it?
I am very certain you will be fine. You aren't being sent out to do something crazy as your first job with somebody that knows you don't trust them. You guys are kind of being politely kind of handled with kid gloves. This is still something important. This needs to be done. We don't have anybody to go do it. And it's dangerous if somebody doesn't go deal with it. But it's not like you're being brought onto something that's going to involve morality.
Important to whom and dangerous to whom?
It depends. That's why you guys have to go check.
Well, to let the cat right out of the bag, I think we would like to take Sindri up on his offer.
Great. I think this is something better done sooner than later. If I were you, I'd agree to it today, and I would go out either today or tomorrow morning.
Good to know. We were just wondering about what sort of time frame we needed.
Well, I would consider it vaguely time sensitive.
I'd certainly agree with the vague part.
Yeah, can I insight the how vague? I'd love to get any kind of gauge on this.
What are you attempting to get a gauge on?
Like,
Uh-huh.
just,
Yeah. I believe in you.
so, like, what?
Uh-huh.
Come back to me.
Yeah. Why do you have temp HP? Okay, Rose. I don't know why she has temp HP. What happened? Irrelevant.
Was probably
Or
from,
is
like,
it? Roll
Nyx being
initiative.
nice.
Done.
Eh.
Yeah, everybody roll initiative. Get
Oh,
ready at the
well,
brunch.
Yep, there we go. Brumble at the brunch.
Yeah, I was like, inciting her is not going to be like, actually, here's the mission. Like, I need like a
No.
specific if there's something you are trying to infer. But Rose sits here, seems content to answer questions and gets her drink and drinks from it. During this, there's a lot of sort of very minute moving around and like shuffling in her seat and like stifling of coughs to the best of her ability.
So, specifically, I'd like to get a gauge on, does she feel pressed by the need for this to be done? Like, she's saying vaguely time sensitive. How pressing is this on her? No matter what she says.
Roll insight.
You also kind of have to consider that she's an extension of Sindri, so.
Yeah, bingo. I'm kind of like looking at this through a few different filters. That is, thanks to my new tattoos, advantage gets me 28.
Okay. Rose believes, you believe this is time sensitive. You believe Rose believes that is a statement that she fully agrees with. Does she seem like antsy and scared about it? No.
Yeah, this
There's
is not
no
like end
fear.
of days kind of like.
No.
Okay.
She already told you this is, you
Yeah.
believe that it's like, yeah, this is,
Yeah.
Sindri gave you guys like an entry level job. He just doesn't have anybody to do it. He wants to accomplish his goals and keep people safe and has no employees to do that.
And we're competent.
And you guys are competent, so says him. So
Mm.
that's what you're picking up on, is that she's not like, guys, I really need you to go out like today and fix that.
Mm.
She's like, hey, it's a lot better and probably safer if you do. It is a better idea on everyone's part if you go deal with this sooner than later. That is the vibe.
Okay.
All right, Rose, I'm not sure why you're being as cryptic as you are, but being that you come and sat down with us for brunch, and being that we've traveled together, a lot of us go back quite a ways, I'm wondering, can you give us just something? How big a coat do we need to bring? How many days should we pack for? Like, what should we expect? Where are we headed? Like, I'm not asking for details to the minutia of the job, just trying to get ourselves positioned to do as good a job for your employer as possible.
You don't have to head far. It's pretty close, especially with the abilities I know that some of you are capable of in regards to travel. Uh, do I think you need some sort of specialized tools that we will not provide for you? No. I would acquire things that maybe if you are going to stay in the wilderness overnight, I would invest in that. Maybe something to keep yourself safe if there is an issue that comes out while in said wilderness. But besides that, I don't think you need anything specialized from a store around town. I would get a coat though, because it is kind of deceptive being in here and then going outside and forgetting that it's winter.
Thank you. Do you anticipate we're going to need to fight someone?
I don't know.
Do you anticipate that what this is intending to do, this job, is this building towards something that has a chance of causing broad harm? Long term.
No.
She seems confident in that.
Are you rolling against her?
I would love to. Yes, please. Mm, 24.
You got to take it at face value.
Fuck. Okay.
Anything else? I promise you, Sindri will tell you everything about the job. And if you decide to back down, it's not like he's going to hunt you down.
Why do you work for him? Is it just because Ave asked you to?
You watch her eyes go wide. Everything I do for me.
You know, growing up, you and Roshan seemed so similar. And I guess you're more like than I would have thought, because everything he's done for you as well.
She looks over at Roshan. That's sweet. And she like gives your shoulder a bump and immediately regrets it as she like holds back like a wince.
Is that is that a trackable like pain response?
Yeah.
Well, did you dislocate your shoulder?
No.
What's hurting you?
Everything.
Well, that's helpful.
It's not vague.
I'll disagree with that, but fine, as you like.
And I'll rephrase. Maybe Roshan and I are alike on this still. I think so. Everything I do is for me. And everyone. Not just him. Is there anything else?
What was the point of you being there? On the mountain.
I got Sindri onto the mountain.
That was the plan.
To help Sindri accomplish his goals, yes.
Got him
You
off
watch-
the mountain too.
You watch Rose like look around and like is reasserting with her eyes, we are in public. I did get him off the mountain, yes.
I think that's all we have for this gathering.
Might be nice to actually speak with you in private at some point.
I'm not sure how real private actually is, but sure.
I've got a lantern that spots nosy Nancy's, so it helps.
Unless, of course, you see any of them sitting around here. They're people you're concerned about overhearing this. The people working against his goals and yours within this city.
You caught me. She looks over at a table of elderly women. There they are.
Hell's grannies!
The bane of the kiln.
Nosy Nancy's.
There they are. The nosy
Like they could
Nancy's.
assemble a mean jigsaw.
Oh, I'm sure one of them's at least sent a strongly worded letter at some point. Nothing else? I don't know when we get to talk again, especially if you're going out for your adventure, hopefully soon, if you are willing.
I think Roshan would turn to her and out loud ask, "Can we talk?"
Sure. When and where?
Well, you haven't invited me to your apartment yet.
Ugh, that's true, isn't it? Sure, why not? Why why not? You see like a couple drops of black go across the white of the fabric of her clothes, which she quickly like runs a hand over and it prestidigitates away. Yeah, I'll invite you over. Great. Should I set something up with you all in Sindri to meet today?
Yeah, what time works best?
An hour from now?
Does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Fine.
Sounds good.
Nyx gives a thumbs up through eating pancakes.
Nana
1 hour.
downs the last half of her drink.
When Rose gets up, as she's leaving, but before she leaves entirely, Fenn's going to flag down a server and order a round of mimosas to be sent over to the table of old ladies that Rose had gestured at.
They are very happy about it. And as Rose leaves, you watch as she drops a good handful of coin on like the hostess stand and like motions over to y'all's table and makes her way out.
I think before she would have left, Roshan would, in her head, just say, meeting now or later.
Got an hour. And heads out. So either you'd have to try to get the address for her or jog after her.
I think Roshan will throw a handful of gold on the table and follow after her, or run after her.
These waitresses are like, hell yeah, this is going really well.
The twins keep throwing money at them.
Just keep throwing money down.
Yeah, Roshan says, I'll meet you back up on the occipital.
I think before Roshan goes, Nana grabs him by the sleeve and kind of leans into his ear. I don't think she was going to talk about the crest here. If you wouldn't mind, I would be grateful.
Roshan will give you a nod and then quickly hurry after her so he doesn't lose his sister.
Yeah, she's fast. You know how people walk in the city? Like she is so far away by the time you get outside.
Power
you're like,
walking.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. As you not too hard to catch up with her. Actually, you know what? Roll me a d20. Tell me if it's a nat 1. I love this city.
It's not a nat 1.
Perfect. You are able to catch up without endangering yourself. I'll go back to team at the table first. Is there anything you guys wanted to do while still at the table or within the next hour before meeting up with Sindri?
Fen would ask Nyx if she would help him find these mushrooms that were on that flyer.
Oh, sure. Sure, yeah. Nyx gets up and like waddles towards the door. Just real stiff jointed. All right, so Fen and Nyx begin to head their way out. Keld and Nana doing anything for the next hour?
Is there any business you need to attend to, Nana?
Love to have more time in order to reconnoiter on this, but an hour's not enough, so... Whatever you think will get my mind off of meeting that man one more time.
Let's just...
I'm not
maybe go
getting
back-
another tattoo. I'm not Nyx. The pain would help, I'm sure, but I'm not that masochistic yet.
Maybe I can teach you this card game.
Sure, why not? Which one was it again?
Yeah,
Insert game here.
Insert game name.
No,
Blip,
you
blip,
give
blip,
me.
blip, blip.
Tell me
Alright.
just a name. Noun, adjective. all Keld. I believe in you.
I'll come up with it at some point.
Sure, it's real low stakes, but I will wait.
Sure, haven't learned that one before, I don't think. Let's have a go.
Right, you guys play cards. Rose takes Roshan to the apartment. It has a similar vibe to Russ's, which you have not been inside of. Um, but it seems more lived in, a bit messy. Uh, there's kind of a homey element to it, but like it looks like she's like picked out 3 spots in the space that she frequents, and like it's like she walks on that path and the rest of the house kind of remains untouched. um sure, get comfortable. And she'll while she was walking up, she did take her necklace out of her pocket, and you can see that she sent a sending to somebody and then puts it back on again as you go into her home.
Well, we've only got an hour, so we can't take an hour to be awkward.
All right, I'm not awkward. I'm pretty chill. You watch as she does a detect magic and like walks about the space.
You're so chill, so chill that I'm worried that you are resigned to dying.
She stops her path through the space. I don't think those things are related, but I can't rightfully say that they're both untrue.
Um, you're worse than the last time I saw you.
Just a little. I've been worse. I was bad on the mountain. Like, I was having a really bad time on the mountain. Um, the medicine that I made sort of levels me out, but that does not stop it from progressing.
Um, is there anything that would?
I'd think so. I think there's a couple things. Nothing easy, and nothing I am currently interested in at this time.
Will you let me help you?
There there isn't anything you could do for me right now. At this exact moment, I don't think you could help me, as I'm not ready to be helped. This is all self-inflicted. This is what I did to my own body. It is not my favorite outcome that it is killing me and is painful and that I can't hide that. If I could at least hide it. But it is the choice I have made currently.
Is Sindri at least as worried about you as he is about Russ?
No. uh, he loves Russ. They're family. I'm a trusted employee who he cares deeply for. I don't think he loves me as he loves Russ. has he asked, as you have, to help me, to help make me well, and I have declined him.
Um, is there a point where there is no helping you anymore? And what do we do then?
I would hope that I at least get to finish what I'm doing before my own hubris ends me. And I currently believe that is my path, is that I will do what I need doing while in this state, and then I don't have to die from it.
Well, if we become coworkers, will you let me in?
I am currently on my path, and you are on yours. And as Sindri said, I do think there is a place where our paths converge. I think you'll know it when you see it.
Stop, that's gross.
I know, it's so fucking gross. It's really pathetic too. Like the sympathy glances you get, fucking awful. It's like you can't look at them and say, "No, I did this. This is what I'm doing right now. I wanted this to happen." And, you know.
Well, this is incredibly frustrating.
Mm,
I hate not knowing what I can do to make you even an iota more comfortable. And I'm still fucking mad at you,
mm.
but I don't want to lose you again. So, I suppose we'll leave and get whatever this is done, and then I'll come back, and I'm planning on asking Sindri to let me see the kiln, to see what the hell you and Dagwood are working on.
Mm.
Is there
Yeah.
anything?
Mm.
Is there anything we shouldn't ask for? I mean, Nana wants Gungnir, but
uh, um, not getting that. Um, it's going to be a family heirloom, I can only assume. Um, uh, Also, I don't think he would. He sees it as a burden. He sees the spear as a burden, so he's not going to give it to somebody else to have to deal with that burden. And honestly, I agree. It's a fucking burden. He was getting to see him change like that is honestly kind of a scary thing.
I understand. Well, I'd be remiss not to ask, but Nana was, I think, interestingly enough, most upset about the crest. It did show up in Ave's will,
Mhm.
and I think we'd all love to know what significance it plays, but
Well,
I have a
no,
feeling
no,
that you
that's an
don't.
interesting thing, Roshan. We've already spoken about it. You didn't tell her.
I told her that once I figure out the shadow, you would give it back to me. But
And that's the thing. It's a very powerful artifact that I am holding on to until it is safe to give it to you, and I stand by my choice.
well, I'm doing my best to make it so I can receive it. It's also knowing that she wants it so bad makes me not want it at all. I'm closer. If if it was to believe that there were four to begin with, there is at least two gone, if not a third. I believe I'm close, but if it's a powerful magical artifact and Ave, and you don't think I'm ready yet, I trust you. It's frustrating, but
Mm. And let me be clear on this. This, and she like presses a hand down into like the illusion of her body, and you can see like her hand grip around the crest that she is wearing. You can't see it, but it is there. This isn't really about anybody but that thing following you around. It's not if you're ready. Maybe it needs you to be ready to be ready. I don't know the whole special thought process about that. Um, but it's more about that thing than you,
the keeper.
the keeper. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, we're working on it.
Okay.
Things are going slow, but we're working on it. And then I think Roshan would spend, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes talking to her about what the keeper, how the keeper experiences the world and how it felt like uh, being outside in a rainstorm and every raindrop was a book's worth of memories, and uh, how it slowed down to a trickle, a manageable trickle.
Well, I don't know why you're asking me anything then. Talk to the keeper.
I I do all the time. Um,
Mm,
but knowing the right questions to ask is about as random as getting hit by the correct raindrop in a rainstorm.
mm. Good luck with that. I'd like to say that you'd have a nice long walk to think about it, but that's kind of been taken from you.
Yeah. How far is her apartment from Sindri's place?
Oh, it's not far. She was sort of implying like the mission you're going on. She's like, it could have been
Oh,
a nice little little jaunt for you to think, but it doesn't get to be. Uh, you could make it, but she
yeah.
knows that you guys can move very quickly.
It's it's almost disappointing that we don't spend as much time out and about anymore.
I liked kind of the first portion of when I went out, you know. It was just sort of zigzagging across the continent, accomplishing small tasks. They needed to be done, but not in my favorite stage. The the sitting in a chair and working for it stage, you know?
Yeah.
Um, you all don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. And I could be wrong. Sindri's a good person. Do I agree with everything he does? No. Do I think he ever has ill intent? No. Does he make choices for the greater good when he has to? He's not gonna betray you. And if he does, I'll be just as shocked as you. I promise.
Well, I'll pass your words along to those who need to hear them. Um,
Okay.
I am. Fortunately, I'm not worried about him. I suppose I'm more wary about what any man with great power can do. Now,
I'd
if
be
my
worried
friend
about him
Aliona was in charge,
now. Now that's a different story. Um, he is a man with a lot of power and a good amount of ambition. He's gonna make moves. There's things to do, but it's not a want for himself sort of thing.
that's positive. I would. Have you ever met with Hollister or Hollisdaughter?
Um, I've had a couple interactions with both of
Well,
them.
it seems it seems trite to have such close relationships with, well, one and a half of the city's founders, and
Mm.
to leave them out. So, um, what would be the easiest way to contact them and just see if they'd like to sit down and have tea, or are they too busy?
I would put them on the busier side. That doesn't mean people don't just walk up and ask to talk to them constantly. Um, you're welcome to try. Hollis' daughter is, I would say, more out and about. Um, they're not always sitting still at the office, as it were.
Well, it sounds like we are not going to have uh, sufficient time today if we want to leave tomorrow. Lots of things to do on the to-do list.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to leave by tomorrow morning. I don't think this is, you guys already dealt with your end of days. This is something that's going to probably just be more paperwork for me when you get back, kind of thing.
Well, what can I do to make it so much extra paperwork for you?
Um, hmm. Well, I suppose you could sit with your thumb up your ass for a while and not be productive and try to fiddle with things when you get there and.
Ooh, things to fiddle with when I get there. Now you're talking. Uh,
I'm glad you're invested.
and I think as the hour is close to up, Roshan will. Uh, he thinks to like give her a love punch, but then remembers
Mhm.
how much pain she's in, and um, I think he like reaches up to do it and then decides not to and says, I don't think I can worry about you any more than I already do. So, can you drop the mask for just 10 seconds?
Which one? She gives like a little smile.
I want to see you as you are, not how you want everyone to see you.
The thing is, if I thought I could get away with it, I wouldn't put this up. I'm proud of the work I've put in for what I got, even if it's very unappealing visually. So if you think that you can't worry anymore, all right. And she will drop the glamour. Um, the clothes she is wearing are the same. You can see that there are a couple more spots where like it looks like she had coughed and there's like just little dots that she had missed. Um, you can see Ave's crest there, and you can see this like sort of roiling kind of extension of her tattoos that are similar to yours. You can see where they begin to bleed and have consumed a large portion of her skin and something akin to like an oil spill, the edges like oil on water, and it is covering more of her body. You can see that when she continues talking to you during this time, you can see that there's like it's like in her mouth that there are like spots of black across her gums and on the inside of her cheeks and on her tongue. You can see that like the blood vessels in her eyes are black on the eye that is clear, and it looks like it has slowly begun to spread into that eye. Um, Instead of having that cute little bob haircut that she has in her disguised form, her hair goes back to y'all's original haircut that she has not changed. Um, she is more consumed by it. Her cheeks look a bit more hollow. She looks a bit frailer. She looks sick. She looks really sick.
I think Roshan would have one final question before. I assume she's going to go over to Sindri's with
She
him.
might, yeah.
He asks, uh, barring any further changes, what do you think your timeline is? I mean, until this consumes you.
Mm. Uh, I'm currently working on something that I think will help hold it back a bit, giving me a little more time. At this rate, couple months.
And then I think to lighten the mood, Roshan walks over while playfully guessing what horrific thing that she did to her body to do this. Like, did you take a manticore stinger and distill the poison and then use that, or
Ah.
did you ferment some Etten brain and make a paste?
Now these seem like home remedies I could probably try, like a homeopathic kind of thing to help with it. That might help. That might do something. A little poison therapy.
You know, Nyx is great at poisons, mostly because she can't feel them.
Mm. Yeah, that would probably increase my interest in poison if I could not be poisoned.
Yeah, don't accept a cup of tea from her unless you are into it. The poisoning.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I'll keep that in mind. Also, word to the wise. Um, if you guys want to have fancy little conversations about what's going on and with me involved, first off, I'd love them to not be in public, is my first thing, but I thought I'd be polite and engage. Um, and secondly, I would love no questions of my motives.
Well, I will request that of my companions, but
Yeah.
we both babysat Nana, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, this might be our fault. Oh, well, what are you going to do? She
I think
stands up.
I think Roshan gets a good kind of exhausted, little bit manic giggle out of that.
I think Rose kind of has just like a sincere little smile as she like turns and like sees like the ichor on her shirt and like kind of prestidigitates it away as she pulls the glamour back up her body. I think the best way is to probably just we don't talk about Ave.
Lovely.
Talked about him enough anyways. And she's gonna make her way to the door.
Roshan will follow and follow her all the way to the occipital.
Okay. At the hour, you all make your way back towards Sindri's home, and that's where we're gonna take our break. Um, thank you all for being here. But you go get a snack and a drink, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Ted.
I almost pushed the stop streaming button. She crazy. Transition. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 215 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The way Joshua and Gregory were waving, it was like in unison, so it kind of looked like your hands were going like through the window a little bit, which is very fun for me. You guys had brunch. That's what happened. You had brunch. That's the vibe. We are currently in the hour between going to see Sindri to get the rest of the information on the job. And Fen, you can go ahead and roll. Let's do a sweet nature check. You can have advantage because Nyx will be helping you as you guys begin your mushroom hunt.
20. Oh, advantage. Oh, same number on both dice. 27.
Wow. Okay. You two begin your adventure and go to find things. Nyx starts picking up these mushrooms with her hands. You can see like she like picks a few up and she's just like holding them in her hand and like like just button them up and you go like tongue feels furry.
You're not supposed to.
Hmm?
You're not supposed to even touch the ones that we're looking for.
Oh. I ate
You
one
weren't.
earlier, so
You weren't meant to do that.
um
That was bad.
she shrugs and will put the mushrooms into your bag.
Oh, all right. Thank you for your help, Nyx. I appreciate it. Not sure these are the right ones, since they just seem to make your tongue feel fuzzy. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's probably fine.
All right. If it's not fine anymore, you let me know, and we'll figure out what to do from there.
She'll give you a thumbs up as you two begin spiraling back upwards towards Sindri's place. Keldon, Nana, you're playing. What card game are you playing?
A little game called Seven Spoons.
7 Spoons.
Right. So then, which spoon goes after the fourth?
Obviously, the fifth.
Right. Let's see. You mentioned an exception earlier that made me wonder if this was one of those. It's not. Okay. All right. Fine.
No, you just want to have 7 spoons.
And you just got to. Well, fine then. In that case, I think that we can do something with that. I think like Nana's very happily like taking some time to play a game and just
for
not
her.
be blindingly angry. But I mean like it's a band-aid and we only have the hour. And eventually I think her ankle just starts bouncing on the floor.
Teeny tiny band-aid.
Yeah. I think she will level with Keld at a lull in between hands. And just I know that by marriage you're practically related to the man. I understand. I know there's plenty of good reason not to find anything at all untoward or suspicious about any of this, but you got to believe me, I'm not making this up out of nothing.
Nana, I don't think your feelings are unfounded. I know you've got your reasons, and you've told me. what happened, so
So
I can
how?
understand.
I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad to have that. I just. To all appearances, this seems to be nothing more than a very simple errand. And all my instincts scream. So,
Maybe you've got stronger instincts than me. Who's to say?
I can't say it's unbiased. Obviously. But Kilda, I can't forgive the man. And I'm sure that would make all of this easier. I'm sure it would smooth a lot of roads and make things less painful for everyone.
Possibly, but hard to say. Usually forgiveness isn't just a one and done sort of thing, you know? It takes time. It takes practice.
I don't know what to do. I don't know. Every time I've asked someone for advice on what I should do in situations like this, everyone's like, you've got to, if you don't feel like you can trust anything else, you've got to trust yourself.
Mm.
So what do I do now? I feel like if I did trust myself, if I trusted what I felt was right, I'd drag the lot of you back to Dem Woods and we'd not go anywhere near this or him until we had a better sense of what we were getting into. But as that's not practical nor feasible, it is not what I will do. And it seems like the best thing I can do is stand there and watch and hope that we don't all come to ruin.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your anxiety for it, but we're not going to know what's coming until we do it, you know? There's only so much worrying you can do before.
That was why
Sometimes you just have to face things head on.
I was much more keen to do more legwork before we actually discussed things with the man, but we're going to accept the job anyway, so what's the point in dragging it out?
Right. And depending on how it goes, maybe you'll have time to do that.
I'd like at the very least to get a few viewpoints on him that aren't blindingly positive. All right, I'll let you know Ave was damn popular, at least in Galunda. I'll say that's not an unbiased viewpoint. Sure, he was chief, blessed of our goddess. You know, certain amount of favor in that, but he was smart. He was compelling. He could speak. He could make connections. And he could broker peace. And
Sounds a lot like Sindri.
That's what I'm saying. So if they're both saying the other person is dangerous and ambitious and has plans for their own gain to everyone else's ill, if they're both saying the exact same thing, my brother and the man who killed him, who do I believe?
Did Ave say something about Sindri?
In his journal, mentioned at the very least he knew of him, mentioned there was a contact of some kind. I could ask Roshan to bring up the page again for me.
Yeah. That might be interesting to see.
Particularly considering Sindri denied he ever had one.
Hmm.
To be quite frank, I don't know if I could catch him out in a lie. I don't think I've once been able to catch Rose out on a lie.
Hmm. She seems to speak with a lot of conviction, so
Certainly plenty of conviction, and that's fine and well and good, but there is no way to determine what that conviction is directed towards. I knew her growing up. I knew Roshan growing up. I thought I knew them. I don't know anymore.
people do tend to change.
I know.
And from what you've shared, Roshan and Rose have changed a lot.
Yeah. And they're some of my oldest friends. Some of my only friends.
And they still are. I mean, I can't speak for Rose, but
It doesn't feel like it.
I'm sorry that's the case.
She won't talk about the only thing that matters to me in any of this. So,
Yeah, she seems to be a little avoidant.
yeah, so who knows? Maybe some of it's for her own reasons. Maybe some of it's for Ave's. Maybe it's all for some
Yeah, I
grand
assume
master
there's
plan.
some
What would I know?
personal reason.
Always is. Well, if I learned anything from my brother, it's that I certainly don't have the capacity to see in my loved ones what their intentions might be.
That's that's not necessarily your fault.
I don't know why I was there.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer for that.
Probably won't get one. So here I am.
Maybe not.
It seems disingenuous to say it be something I could imagine finding something else to think about, to care about.
I think there's some other answers you could find.
Point me in a direction and I'll take care of it. I don't think I can trust my instincts right now.
Hopefully we're going in the right direction.
I mean, like I
Either
say,
way, we're going.
if we're in on an operation of his, at the very least, we can keep him close.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That suits me fine.
Good. Speaking of, should probably start heading that way.
Yeah. Not saying anything to him. Niceties. I'm not getting into it. Should I talk with Nyx later? Should I give her time? She seemed upset.
She seemed a little uncomfortable.
And, well, she's practically related, so... Well, she should be.
We're all kind of becoming tied up in different ways. Funny how that happens, huh?
All I came here wanting was to be free of him.
Free of Sindri?
Yeah? All I came to the East wanting. Really. Yes. Solve things with Bosch. That was my fault. My call, my responsibility, my failure. But I wanted to make up for having not been able to make any mark the day he died.
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
That was made plenty clear at the party. Anything I did against him, Ross would jump in front of. And that's not my intent. And you must believe me on that.
I do. I know you have no ill will to Russ.
I can't blame him for not liking me. I'd hate me too if I were him.
I don't know that he hates you, Nana.
Oh, you can fool me.
I think just given the situation and how you feel about Sindri, I just think there's
I'm
maybe...
not safe for him to be attached to.
Yeah.
I didn't want that. Let's just go.
All right.
You guys make your way up. Rex was like playing this card game with you, and then was like, over there. We like, when things started getting intense and walked off. He's like,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's fair. It's fair.
Take a lap.
He's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go take my lap now.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, but I do feel like if Nana feels like she needs to get into it with this shit, I feel like she does kind of like initially be like, hey Rex, do you mind like going and
He was already gone the
talking
second
with
it
the
seemed
bartender?
weird.
Yeah.
He has not been asked to be a therapist.
Nope.
So it's not his job right now. You
Nope.
can put it on his list of duties, but it's currently not on his list.
That's true.
So everybody makes their way back up to Sindri's place. They head back inside. Rose and Roshan kind of wait for all of you like at the entryway so that she doesn't have to just keep answering the door and people don't have to just sit inside awkwardly by themselves. because she's decided that's awful. So she's like, I'll just wait till the whole team's here because that's the easiest option. Um, Russ also meets you at Sindri's and goes inside with you. You make your way through the hallway, past the portraits, past the flags and shields, and make your way back to the same sitting room. There is no barkeep. It is not stocked with food. There is fruit available, but it's not like he set up for a fancy get together this time. He is dressed a little less comfortably. This is you're kind of like the outfit I saw him in yesterday was like around the house wear. He's going to be leaving the house is the energy you get from his outfit now. He is not wearing armor, but he is dressed up a bit more than he was before in whites and golds. He welcomes you all in, and makes like kind of casual small talk, more directed at Russ and Rose. Talks to Russ really quickly about like, I have a couple things set up for you. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to show up. And Russ nods, and Sindri makes his way over to Nyx. I forgot to ask you about this last time, but I owe you, and if I cannot owe you in thanks, which I will give over and over again, I owe you monetarily for the resurrections of my employees. So that burden of the cost of components is mine. If you would tell me how much I owe you for your deed, for your kindness. She begins to go into a bit of a spiel about like, oh yeah, the reincarnate, it was like 1.5K. And he's like, not just that, the everyone, you know, you brought everybody back. And then she goes into a long spiel about how it technically cost nothing because she used a wish. And you can see like Sindri's eyes go a little wide. That is quite the monetary value. Do you I cannot acquire that amount of money today, but I could begin to pay you in increments. And Nyx kind of like shoos it away and like presents the beautiful anomaly, the enigma that is Goose, and is like, you can invest in his future. And basically sets up a little like situation where there's going to be a fund for Goose, fully funded by Sindri, so that his grandson can have a beautiful future and be the best snake he can be. And he nods and accepts the terms that he will be funding this snake's life, unlife, whatever it is, for the rest of its whatever it is.
Existence.
So he accepts that and is like, okay, like got that solved. All right, I suppose first things first, I need to know if I need to get started on the hunt, as it were. Are you all interested in assisting me in Russ's stead?
We are.
Perfect. That's great to hear. I offered you a payment of your choice. I am willing to hear what those are, and then I am happy to tell you about the job. Nyx jumps in and is just like, basically like, I will accept the normal payment for a person who does this job. So basically like, what would you pay somebody to do this job? I will take that. And
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah. So Keld and Nyx are like, you could just pay us like employees. And so he's like, that's perfectly fine and accepts that offer from the two of you, that he will pay you in coin. Is everyone accepting coin, or?
I'll accept coin. I'm curious to know what the job is.
I would prefer something else. As payment, I would like to learn more about the kiln and perhaps be able to take a piece of it, a proxy, enough to channel its power from a distance.
I will show you the kiln. I will provide information on it. At this time, I do not feel comfortable allowing you a piece of it.
Then information will suffice.
Great. I would advise preparing yourself to encounter Dagwood.
It's always a pleasure, he says with like a smirk, because he knows how everyone feels about Dagwood.
Yeah. And he sort of like, he gives like a, yeah, somebody's pleasure, I'm sure, kind of response. All right. Once you hear the job, once again, you are welcome to decide you are not interested. Though, if you decline the job and then go to the area specified, and I believe are not doing something in the people's best interest, that will cause problems for me. And I hope that's understandable. Thank you. I'll show you, it's marked on a map, but you are heading to a forest that is southeast of Svelga. There is and you guys would know, especially after being shown a map, that Svelga is the first city on the spine, the first town on the spine. So it's just one down. There is a small perimeter of lamps in the forest there. This was a testing site, one of the first ones for areas outside of the skull, to see if we could use that same energy to prevent corruption from consuming a space. We picked this spot because it is a good many miles away from people, but also it is not far enough away that somebody could not quickly get there and check if things were to go awry. We believe that one of the lamps could be damaged, and this could be a false alarm. It could not be, but I'd rather be safe than sorry and will not risk that. So your job would be to go to this site and see if any of the lamps are damaged. A damaged lamp could cause problems. They can surge, which means if they are damaged to certain extents, they can release the corruption energy they were holding, which would just return the area back to as it was, but at a faster rate, which would eventually level out. But I don't want to take the risk. So I think it's something that need be dealt with. And if you get there and there is no damage, perfect. I would just ask that you take notes of the area, see if anything has changed. Speaking of if anything has changed, there are a couple bodies that are buried in this area. We have had no movement or corruption from them for months. No change. That is a way you'll be able to tell if the area has continued to stay uncorrupted or if it has become corrupted again based on if the bodies have moved. They are placed as securely as we could. So if they do get up, it is not going to be an easy feat for them to get anywhere. But the faster you move, the faster you could possibly deal with it. if that were to have happened.
Whose bodies are they?
Uh, I did not name the animals. It's an elk, and I think a rabbit or a badger.
All right, I thought you had meant persons, bodies, but all right.
Uh,
I feel better about this then.
no, it would be nice to be able to bury the dead, and if all of this works out, then I suppose people could. But for a test, I would not want to risk that, as the corruption to the human body is much more severe than animal on many occasions.
Can you give us some notes on how things were so we'll know what to keep an eye out for?
Of course. The biggest thing, there are 3 lamps in this area. You will be able to check all 3 of them. The biggest telltale will be if there is corruption visible. The last time this area was checked, there was none. It was completely clean. So I will provide you with tools so that you may attempt to do repairs if necessary. Once the lamps are built, they are not the hardest things to repair unless they are extremely damaged. And if it is extremely damaged and you do not feel confident dealing with it, please let us know and we'll send somebody else out. I don't want to pull Rose away from what she is doing, but I will. And I certainly won't send Dagwood, so it's Rose.
Any sort of schematics or instruction you can give on how to repair these things in case they're moderately damaged and we need to repair them?
You will be given 4 minimal to possibly less minimal repairs. You will be given some guidelines. You will also be given tools that are specific for the lamps. All of those need be returned after you are completed there. But we will give you as many resources as we can comfortably.
And is
My-
there some
mm,
kind of some relay that lets you know when a lamp goes out? How do you know from this distance?
Everything is connected to the kiln. There is a tether of connection, and there was some interference that was picked up. And that is why we at least want to check to make sure that there is no damage. And if there is damage, to have it repaired to keep the area corruption free. Also, my other request while you are there is to take notes of the area. If there is no corruption, state it as it is, check the animal bodies, and then if there is change, take note of it, how severe it is. We believe that there are many an outcome if and how a lamp is damaged. The most apparent one is that corruption just spills back into the soil as it cannot contain it. That is the most straightforward way it can be damaged. But these are very powerful magics. These machines are very intricate. I want to know if there's a problem with them. I need to know they're safe. Is there any other questions that you have? I'll supply you with the things you will need and pay you upon your return.
This all makes sense to me.
Does he seem like he's been above board with us? Does he appear genuine?
Roll insight. No.
Sounded like you
no.
threw that outside.
No.
Off the balcony.
26.
No. Where did it go? I don't want to see it.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
She gone for a walk.
I don't know where it is.
Uh-oh.
I thought my
A
finger touched it.
horizontal walk.
I don't know where it is. Where'd like all the dice go? I feel crazy. Okay. I feel crazy. There we go. Listening to him talk is like listening to a supervisor list off tasks for the day. This is a person who wants you to complete these tasks as stated.
Coolio.
You're not getting any like finger twiddlies about any of it, but it's just very like, listen, this is the thing, this is what it does, this is what I want you to do. Please take notes. Don't steal my stuff, you know. Very polite,
Expected
don't steal
things.
my things. Um,
Not an unforeseen request.
that is everything on my end, I believe. You have enough magical know-how in your group to at least look it over and assess damages, and if you believe it is outside of your capabilities, being just introduced to this technology, you will still receive payment upon your return. But better to know sooner than later.
Well, if there is a package you'd like us to pick up containing the basic schematics and repair materials, we could do that at some point this evening or tomorrow morning. I believe we'll leave bright and early tomorrow.
I'll have them delivered to you.
Appreciated.
All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate this dearly. And Rose begins like stepping towards the door, like, and we're done, right, everybody? We're all done.
Yeah, then I'll walk out.
Nana will rise, give her bow, and leave.
Yeah, Roshan will follow.
Caleb will shake his hand and head out.
Nyx will approach him. They both have like a pause, and then he initiates like a two-armed hug.
Nice.
To which she returns.
Wow, we
And
got upgraded from a one-armed hug to a two-armed hug.
man, he wasn't ready for a two-armed hug.
Caught him
that's
off
what he
guard.
expected. He wasn't expecting a hug after the meeting, and now he's ready for it. He's like, understood. We hug here.
Is that what we do?
Seems
In
so.
this house, we hug.
You've seen Russ. He's a
Oh yeah.
he's a Dutchy man.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. But Russ stays inside. Rose follows you all out and like closes the door behind her. I'll have the schematic and tools delivered to you, and you will be able to head out in the morning. No delay on our end.
We'll
Thank
try
you.
not to dilly-dally.
Yeah. Okay. Rose is like, oh, okay, neat. Well.
Awkward goodbyes.
She's like, okay, cool. And then she will go back inside of Sindri's home.
I don't know what everyone is up to now. But Roshan's been carrying around a bouquet of daisies since breakfast. And he says, a friend in town seems to be having trouble, perhaps with a local element. I'm not sure. And I wanted to deliver her some daisies. And who knows, maybe she also has work for us, should we want to. Um, but I'm so very small. Can somebody go with me to look like it's more than just me and people will trust me to do a certain kind of thing, and it's not go beat up dumb gang members. So,
Hmm.
which is what I think is the problem, but
Sounds like you need some muscle.
yeah,
I could do with punching something.
I'm
I
happy to
really
go
could
along.
do with punching
If we
something.
could make a stop, I've got some things in my bag I'd like to drop off. Might get us a bit of coin, and I really don't want them in my bag anymore. So if we could stop along the way, I'm happy to accompany you.
yeah, I think Roshan would say, yeah, that's fine. We can stop by, who is it?
Dr. Zimish?
Dr. Zimish?
Hmm.
Think so. Yep. Yeah. All of these things on the workboard included like an address. So it's not like you have to go around and be like, please, where does Prax live? So you are able to begin your walk about town to find where Dr. Zimish is. It looks like one of the most boring buildings you've encountered. A little closer to the bottom, but seems newer and well built, very secure looking. The door looks sturdy. You give it a little knock, and there's like, you see like a little, it almost looks like a really, really tightly knit fishnet sort of circle at the front of the door. Black, about fist size, and a voice sort of mechanically speaks through it. Yes, hello. How can I help you?
We have a delivery responding to an ad.
Ah, I see. Can I see all of your hands? I love Kel being like, what? It's his hands.
Keld looks left, looks right, looks left again. Oh!
I don't know why, but I will also raise my hands. All of you raise your hands. All right, perfect. Uh, and you hear just sort of like mumbling. It's almost like it gets like farther away from the speaker, but closer to the door. So it's kind of like kind of just like a full circle on it as the door opens a crack, and there is an elderly goblin man, um, like white hair, kind of stringy, uh, spectacles, wearing something akin to a lab coat. Um, Opens the door, and you hear it snag very aggressively on like a chain lock. So you found a mush mask.
I believe so. Rely on your expert opinion. Uh, I don't want to touch them. Do you have a table or something we could dump them out upon?
One moment.
You could assess them.
Door closes, and comes back with a bag and tongs. And basically is like, open your bag and we'll just like take one out and examine it and then put it in the bag, and then take one out and examine it and put it in the bag. It looks like you guys only found one mushroom that wasn't a mush mask. It just looked similar. And he's like, you can have this. Um,
That one actually really good if you brown it with some butter.
that's what he was going to say, is that it's edible. That one edible. Maybe Nyx got really lucky earlier in the day. Maybe not. um, but you are given that one mushroom to keep. And after a moment of deliberating and the door closing again and then opening back up again, you are given 10 gold pieces. If you find any more, you are welcome to bring them by.
What do you do with them?
We are currently experimented to see if there are any medicinal properties that can be utilized from these mushrooms.
Very good.
All right. I'll keep my eyes open for them. You don't happen to have a second set of those tongs, do you? That seem to make things much easier.
You did a job for him. Roll me persuasion with advantage. Could I please have some tongs?
You do want us to get you more of these mushrooms, and those tongs are good for handling those mushrooms.
18.
1 second. Door closes. Walks away, comes back, and gives you tongs, but they're not as like long as the tongs he was using, but they are still like a decent set of tongs where you could easily pick up a mushroom and put it in. I would practice with it a bit, maybe on less valuable mushrooms, to get used to using it, because you can easily just rip them apart with this thing. So, and hands the tongs out to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And hopefully we'll have more for you in the future. Anything else you want us to keep an eye out for?
You can see just like thinking real aggressive. At this time, and you see like he looks back and to like the side of the door you can't see. If you come back again with more mushrooms, perhaps we will have more work.
Appreciate it. A few of us have quite an eye for things in nature. We'll see what we can find for you.
Speaking of having an eye for things in nature, what's the easiest way to tell the difference between the poison mushroom and the mushroom that is edible?
Well, the easiest ways are by breaking them open and observing the insides, as the one that is safe to eat will be purely white on the inside and the other one will have coloration. And if the ones that are even good to eat have coloration, I advise not indulging.
They are past their freshness at that point.
Also, if you give them a little tap and you see any like pollen or anything fall out, any spores, I would not think that is a safe thing to eat. So that's something to keep in mind. The biggest difference is in the shades of blue. They both have shades of blue on them, but kind of motions for you to pull the other one back out of your bag. It's just a bit more vibrant on the other one. You see how this is a bit of a more muted blue? But the thing is, it can get pretty close anyways. So
that can be true with a lot of variations between plants and fungi, I've noticed.
yeah,
So
we have some chemicals that we can also use to test, but not enough to hand out.
All right. Well, good to have at least the hallmarks in mind. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. And boom, and you hear the sound of many a lock clicking. You could see inside, it was
Deadbolt.
very sterile. It even had like a very sterile smell to it.
I'd love to get a better
knowledgeable
look
little man.
inside there sometime.
Maybe if he lets the door open long enough.
All right, Roshan.
Now I guess question for Jillian: did Mood let Roshan know where she lives, or
No, you don't. You're welcome to swing by the business, and because the thing is, even during the like afternoon, people are there like working. So that's a place you could swing by. You don't know if they're there, but you do know that there are usually people inside doing something.
Yeah, I think Roshan would lead them there first, and tell everyone, I'm not sure that Pink will be here, but uh, they should at least be able to tell me where I could find her and drop a nice bouquet off for her, and we'll lead everyone to Pink's.
Yeah. You lead everybody up. Um,
I was wondering why you were hanging out so very much up here. I know you like to dance, but
Yeah, I think there's just an energy here that is hard to replicate anywhere else.
to say
Oh, I've
nothing
only
of
been here
the
once. I didn't
intrigue.
notice.
I've only been inside once. I was just in the corners, but it walks faster.
It was only in passing. Briefly.
Oh, I gotta take a picture. Oh no, do it. Nice. Okay. Sorry, I keep getting an ad under our videos that's just like just a big yellow box and it just says fentanyl just in big bold letters at the bottom. So I
Add the
finally saw
extra
it again.
N! Add
It's
the
just-
extra N! It's free advertising.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So I took a picture to prove it's real. I think they're like, hey, don't do it, but it's just that's all I can see from where I'm sitting.
Selling this fentanyl stuff pretty hard.
They're like, I'm like,
Golly
okay.
gee.
I mean, I gotta
better make
try
the
it
game
now.
fucking rad.
I
Guys,
mean,
this
the peer
game's
pressure's really mounting here, guys.
I'm sweating a little about it.
Hey, kids, all your friends are doing it.
Yeah.
No. Now.
Here at the Dice Cult, we're not the boss of you. You probably shouldn't.
We're
do
not
that.
your dad.
Yeah, you know
But-
what? But I'd say don't. But I honestly can't stop you, name faceless person on the internet or my mom. Don't do it. Uh, you all make your way over to Pink's. You can see that there are people inside. It looks like they're doing their cleaning and stocking before the night, the evening starts. The door is currently locked, but like it's one of those doors that's like it's not like solid, right? Like there are spots you can see through. So you could always like see inside to the club and see what you're missing, right? Um
Yeah. I think Roshan would wait until he sees someone through the grate in the door and try to speak to them in his mind and out loud, so it doesn't look weird. But they'll hear it louder than if it was just out loud.
okay. I was just like, what's not fun is being at work and then someone starts talking in your mind and you drop a very expensive box full of very expensive drinks. But they're just like, wow, this guy can project and like
Ooh.
makes his way over to the door. Oh, can I help you?
Yes, I'm actually a friend of Mood and Pink, and Mood was telling me that Pink needed a pick me up. And so I got this bouquet of daisies, but is she around?
Go ahead and roll persuasion for me.
Uh, a lot. 33.
Cool. You guys are rolling pretty spicy today. Everybody's putting out good numbers. Maybe I have not been putting out good numbers, but who knows? That's a secret for me. That's just for me to know. The guy thinks for a second and then is like, and in that moment makes the smart decision of this actually isn't my decision and says 1 minute and walks
Mm.
away from the door instead of making this choice right now. Ends up coming back and unlocks the door and lets you all in. Pink is in the back. She says to please come make yourselves comfortable in her office.
Lovely. Could I bring a teapot and some glasses in?
Of course, we'll have something brought over.
Perfect. And then Roshan will march all the way across because he's been here before. He knows where this office is.
Yeah. My favorite just mental image is just still Fen in the back, like, oh, I've never saw this place. Unfamiliar. Just like,
Ah,
oh,
All
no.
brand new
Oh,
here.
wild.
all these doors,
crazy.
I didn't know they were here. No, I've never,
Oh,
anywhere.
there's a pillar there? I had no
Ah.
idea.
Crazy. You make your way in and go up to an office door that this is a sturdier looking door and does not have mesh atop it to make it see through. It is just like a solid wooden door. And you hear just like a very soft spoken yet very easy to hear voice. Please come in.
Roshan will let himself in, and will like incline his head politely as he sees her, and then cross the room and hand her a bouquet of daisies.
This very beautiful Earth Genasi individual, skin like marble, cracked with pink and blue, with a few crystals that stick out of the skin, smiles. Well, that is very, very sweet. Thank you. They are gorgeous.
So these are all my friends. These are Keldon, Nix, and Nana and Fen. I hope it's not untoward, and I don't mean to pry, but Mood said you could use a little pick-me-up, that recent events have gotten you down, and I wanted to see if there was anything that we could do to help.
Mood was informing me that she may have been a bit loose-lipped, but that you were so charming. How could she resist? And you can see, like, at the door, there's that young man, and he comes in with the accoutrement for tea, and then glances to Pink, nods, and then, like, closes the door behind him as he leaves. Please find a seat. I suppose I can tell you about my woes.
Roshan will serve everyone that wants a cup of tea, because he can't turn it off. He's a server even when it's not his bar. And then he will find his own seat.
I am in a bit of a predicament, actually. You're new, so I suppose I have to give a bit of information. Can't speak too casually about things, especially if you're not informed. You're new to the city. She kind of like glances over the group. Can always tell an adventuring party, though, and gives like a little smile. Well, where to start? And like runs fingers over some of the daisies and then picks up the little cup of tea. There is a well-known and well-established gang here in Skull City, who have currently decided that it is in their best interest, perhaps. Maybe it's just for fun, because I can't see a reason why I am being targeted specifically. They have taken to vandalizing my property. They have been stealing shipments that I have been receiving for my establishment. Um, I don't want to start propagating rumor, but I worry that they could also be related to the uh, current um, falling tourist problem that we have had recently. And that's just speculation on my part. I have no proof of that, but it just something rubs me the wrong way on that. Tourists fall all the time. Don't be mistaken of that, but it's a good handful in a short amount of time. So it just it's just something I'd keep an eye out on as tourists yourself.
What's been stolen?
Um, it's been mostly alcohol is the items that have been stolen. Um,
From where?
just
Just shipping in, or from your stocks, or
usually during receiving before it is brought to my establishment. So somewhere between the lifts outside and here, we've had problems. Um,
when do you have more coming in?
I'll have to take a look at my calendar. We just received a shipment, well, part of a shipment recently, but I could always plan for one in advance if need be.
Was there any evidence of foul play with that last shipment, or was it simply missing things that should have been on it?
Um, the last one, it is a bit varying, but it is there is proof of tampering. It is very apparent that someone is breaking in and stealing these things, sometimes at a knife point situation, sometimes it is just people run in and grab and go. It just varies on the day. And the thing is, I find it a bit insulting that I've been targeted in this way. And I have no interest in retaliating. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to make it harder for Hollis' daughter and all the work she's putting into dealing with this. And she's trying her best, I'm sure, but um, things aren't getting done fast enough for me. But isn't that when you try to do things by the book, you just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to have to deal with it because I will deal with it if need be, and that's just I think not in the best interest of the leadership in the city. So I'm trying to avoid that and letting them deal with the problem. And I find it even more insulting because once upon a time, I feel like this group and I had an understanding. Um, this was a bit of a while ago. Their leader, their original leader, um, they're called the Blind Eyes, the Blind Eye Gang, as it were. Um, their original leader was, for me and many, I would say, a well respected woman. Her name was Waylon Opus. And some people refer to her as the fourth founder, sort of a protector of the working class, focused on keeping the rich in check as a community begins to establish and keep the interest of the people at the forefront. And um, as it always does, I think, at least in, I think, such rushed scenarios, perhaps, it's veered a bit into what would be referred to as terrorism. Um, got a bit extreme. But Waylon and I always had a great relationship with each other. And I know Waylon would never do anything to interfere with my business, and was, you know, a woman of the people. Often would say that they can't turn a blind eye to what they can see. So, um, sadly, she disappeared and was, I suppose, replaced by an idiot named Bottleneck. And instead of being the, I suppose, extremist freedom fighters that they were, um, they've just sort of become criminals. They keep the mask, but I'm not sure what they're doing for the people anymore. So they wear the mask that Waylon made, and yet make it a bit hard for the people to exist, even the small. So I'm a bit at odds on that. Once again, I've been trying to let the authorities deal with it, but they also don't want to lean in with too heavy of a fist, as that's an intimidation to the people. And of course, they don't
Because
want
the
to let
symbol,
it
of
go.
course, would have been, the mask would have been intended to be protectors of the people. So they
So
see the city coming down on that.
you
Could
can
be difficult.
see the predicament.
Mm.
Let me just say this. My name has always garnered respect in this city, and I've done my best to earn that respect and give it to those who have earned mine. And sometimes in situations, even when they haven't, because I believe that we can come to an understanding. And I'd love to avoid these petty squabbles. I'm not saying that I want Bottleneck dead by any means, but I do want the respect I am owed, which is mostly me being left alone. That's all. That's all
And
I really want.
that is the ideal situation for you, some resolution in which you can carry on your business in peace.
I would just hate to be an issue for the powers that be, because if I must retaliate, it will not be a legal process.
Right. Right. Hardly
And-
seems
And
like an affair for legal powers anyway.
and it's not I did bring the muscle, but I don't intend to bring the muscle to bear against these blind eyes. But perhaps were the original leadership reinstated, if Waylon is still out there, these
It
blind
would,
eyes could be returned to sightedness.
See reason at least.
I, in my heart, I am incredibly hopeful that Waylon is alive, but I am not foolish. So I don't know if she is still here in the city, if she is living, if she has just left. I don't know.
Was there any investigation when she disappeared?
At the time, I can't say. I am close enough with Hollis' daughter to get a trickle of information on topics like that, but I think the authorities were at the time not upset that this person had left and there was no sign of foul play. So people are allowed to move, and I think they were happy to declare it such. If there had been some big display, they could not have ignored that and would have had to address it, but it appears as if she just left.
And how much of the investigation has been, if you know, magical in nature? Has anyone tried to contact her, scry on her, locate her via
Oh,
magical means?
I'm unsure. I don't know that. I'm sorry.
I'm not here to suck up, but I would
Oh, please.
like to see these it sounds like this bottleneck is trash, and
An
Mm,
sounds
unpleasant
nice
fellow at
to
minimum.
it sounds nice to get the their reputation restored with a restoration of their leadership. I think that would do the entire city good. So I don't want to overpromise. We are on our way out of town for a short while, but that doesn't mean we can't begin our search. And would you like to be apprised of anything we learn, or?
Oh, I would appreciate being kept in the loop. I am not holding out hope for this very lofty goal you have set yourself, but if another less exciting way, I suppose, because this is my favorite outcome that you are proposing. But if something else were to come up instead as a way to solve my problem, I would be equally as appreciative. But that would certainly be something.
You don't have any urge to command these blind eyes, do you?
Oh, no.
I didn't think so.
No, but I
Honestly,
always appreciate cooperation, mind you, if that were to be the case. Um, it was always more of a mutual respect thing. Um, uh, Separate, but together when necessary, I suppose, when one needs to put forward a stronger face. But
As neighbors must do.
of course, a community. But I have no wish to lead a group of people that are going to, even if under different leadership, cause many a problem for the powers that be, which I don't need looking at me so incredibly hard.
And
but you are so incredibly nice to look at.
Well,
This is true.
and you said it's been mostly alcohol that's been stolen. Anything more valuable? Anything
um,
more enticing?
there have been some tools, um, uh,
Anything more
items for the
illicit?
bar. I'm sorry?
Anything more illicit?
The accusations, sir.
I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just, if we're going to entice potentially someone to make an attempt at a theft so that we can catch them and find out the whereabouts of their boss or something, maybe knowing which shipments might be the ones targeted would be useful.
I will see if I can acquire a log of the things that have been stolen, and perhaps some of them have been mislabeled by name, but not by
Any
quantity.
any suspicions of anyone within your organization that might be tipping anyone off?
Oh, I certainly hope not. If you find something of the type, please let me know, but I currently at this time don't have any suspicions on anyone. We're a bit of a family.
I understand. Just a thought.
I, once again, I can accept that sometimes bad things happen and sometimes disappointing things happen. That could be very true. And if that is the case, please inform me.
We will do so.
But I understand that you said you were going out of town for a bit, which is fine. No rush. Um, Hopefully they mind their business for a couple days.
How soon before your next delivery? Or do you have a regular schedule by the week?
I would have to check as we get different things delivered at different times. I can also set up a rush delivery, as it were, if, as you know, things were stolen from me. So maybe I need some things delivered on a particular day very soon.
And
So if,
particularly if they were things that were stolen, if you are ordering more of those specifically, perhaps that is in fact what they will seek to
so
steal again.
I'll have to check and see if that's something that I need to do.
All right.
We will keep you apprised of anything we learn via magic in the time that we're away when we come back. But if we learn nothing, then perhaps we set a little trap for any ne'er-do-wells who would like to steal some of your alcohol.
I would love the assist. And also, we have to just spend some quality time together, I think. I would love to hear about the party, Corinne's, from the perspective of first timers. I think that would be quite the tale.
Well, let me just say it was beautiful and traumatic in equal measure.
Isn't she, though?
She is indeed.
Fen just blushes in the background.
Nana just
She's
nodding
beautiful and traumatic,
tiredly.
and I love her. Well, I appreciate your help. I know you'll say no, don't worry about it, but I'm sure I can find some way to repay you if this all works out.
Well, if things go as well as expected, and I expect great things out of my friends, then I think a night in one of the private rooms at Pink's would just be delightful.
I see. Well, don't let me and my small little problems get in the way of whatever fancy thing all of you are up to currently. And it's just like this like slight twist of a knowing smile. Just walk right in, go talk to the kiln.
Well, turns out he's missing a lot of staff recently, and
Mm. Has
Needed some
always
good
been
hands.
quite particular. She's like, you could tell she's thinking about Russ. Like, you ever just look at somebody's face and like this person's thinking about Russ?
Yes.
Just like
Yeah, we can all
just
tell.
like
It's
lost
just
in a
it's
moment. Like,
we regard the himbo.
well, hopefully you can assist him with his problems. I am quite the person to know, but to be on the good side of the kiln, how exciting for all of you. I will try to live up to that amount of prestige.
honestly, Pink, your grandiosity dwarfs his. Not that I would perhaps say that outside of a private space.
And I would never repeat it.
I would say you are many miles away more attractive than he is, though.
I agree.
I'm imagining her putting out her hand for all of us to kiss it, and we all kiss it at one time.
Yep.
Everyone pick a finger and you can kiss it. You all line
There's
up.
a ring on
You can kiss the hand.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
thank you for this lovely gift and a listening ear. I appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll be able to give you some good help.
Well, enjoy whatever adventures you're going to get up to, whether mine or someone else's. And I say be careful near the ledge.
Is the ledge by the spine?
Oh, I'm
Or is
so
this-
sorry. She's implying just like the ledges around Skull City. She's like, hey,
Not
Uh,
one.
be careful.
Any of them.
Just the ledge, the royal
Generally.
ledge.
The collective ledge.
Just like, hey, be careful. She seems to truly believe that like people are being pushed. She does not think that people are just casually falling.
Yeah. You feel like a
I
local would
tend
know
to
that.
agree.
And you all can finish your tea, have a bit of small talk, kiss the ring, I suppose, and you head out knowing that the city is full of adventure, but your current call to adventure is outside of the skull. And that is where we'll stop for tonight. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. If you want to see more of us, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, including past episodes of Gossamer Vale, which currently is not happening this week. No. But will
No,
be
no.
happening next week because it happens by Thursdays. So
That it does.
Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.com/the Dice Cult. I'll give you a sneaky secret. Perhaps next week is Oops, All Gossamer Vale, where Monday and Thursday will both be Gossamer Vale, and Bog will take a casual break for a week.
Ooh, interesting.
But it might be just Oops, All Gossamer Vale. We'll see what's happening. We'll see what's going on. But that's just something that might be happening. So if you want to make sure that's what's happening, you can follow us on socials at Backs of Gods on Instagram and at The Dice Cult on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook. There is a picture of Pink on the Backs of God's Instagram. You can see pictures of everybody in the party. You can see most beautiful woman in the world. She's beautiful. I love her. So if you want to have also some beautiful dice, that mine's under the couch somewhere, and I swear I'll find it. And
Mine
by me,
also
I
rolled
mean
somewhere. My
Greg.
D20 did.
Gregory will come find it at some point. But if you would love some of those dice, I'd say, hey, click on the link in the chat, which I don't have ready, and I don't think anybody has ready. But that means you can go to the box below on YouTube and find that link.
Yeah.
But if you
hell yeah.
Google Dragon Ink Dice, it's on
Yes.
a big cartel website, so you should be able to find it with a simple Google search.
This is true.
Thank you again. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.